You are listening to an All Games Radio Network broadcast of allgames.com.
Hi, this is Normie from Knuckleballer Radio and Zombie Cast, and you're listening to one of my favorite shows on the Geeky Antics Network. Don't forget to check out the rest of the gang over at geekyantics.net. Warning, there might be rants and food ahead and possibly inappropriate behavior. Don't tell anybody though.
What's up, guys? Yomar here, aka YogiZilla. I just have a real quick call to action today. If you want to support the Geeky Antics Network, it's a really simple thing you could do. We give you a few links, and all you gotta do is click on them, share them, like them. You do all the social media stuff. Ideally, buy something, but it's not required of you. Of course, this is just a way to help our sponsors out and help us pay our bills, and we just humbly ask that you share these links as much as you can. No pressure, but we would greatly appreciate it. I mean, we get it. Lots of people don't have money these days, disposable income, what is that? So donating is not always a thing, but clicking links and sharing stuff on social media, I think everybody could do that. So the links are very simple. They all start with geekyantics.net/whatever, right? So one is geekyantics.net/shiny prints. The other one is geekyantics.net/weddings, and then we have geekyantics.net/Martin Septic. And if you just share those and tell some friends, check them out, see what's out over there. And if you like what you see, definitely spread the word. I'm sure you know at least 5 people that might be at least mildly interested. And we'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys.
You're about to listen to the Timey-Wimey Tea Time Podcast, a geekyantics.net and allgames.com production. Find out what everyone's talking about. The Doctor, of course. Doctor Who? Exactly, that Doctor. Join us live at www.twitch.tv/geekyantics. That's GEEKYANTICS. Hang out with us, ask questions, laugh, and have at it. We can't wait to hear what's on your minds and hearts.
Tiny, whiny tea time.
Greetings and welcome to Timey-Wimey Tea Time, where friends gather to talk about all things Doctor Who, sci-fi, fantasy, zombies, creativity, and geekdom as a whole. We have an awesome show ahead. I'm pretty excited about all the stuff we have to talk about, so hopefully we won't derail too much. We got some introductions, of course, so let's get to that. And in the words of Stan Farina, author, friend, and former co-host of TWTT, I'm Yomar Lopez, known throughout the interwebs, such as the Whoverse as YogiZilla. Friends IRL call me Yogi. And Stan would also say that I'm a gamer, I'm a dreamer, an author of silliness, a disgruntled techie, a wild-eyed entrepreneur, and a fistful of happy emoji kinds of sunshine. I ride into the battle upon a glittering My Little Pony. Out of my mouth come laughing swords of peppermint and ginger. But above all, I hope that we can become friends as we embark upon a journey through time and space, the human condition, and merriment/bantering. So today, it's May 14th, 2016. This is episode. That's a new word. Episode 52 of TWTT. And, we've been doing a lot of fine-tuning of the show, try to make more room for going deeper on the main topics. Some people would say this is like a G-rated or PG-rated version of Horseplay Live. But the difference is, we go deeper. But before we talk about what the show is about, if you're new and whatnot, what we have ahead, let's introduce our co-host, the other half of TWTT, of Tea Time, Oolong.
Hey, I'm here. I'm on the episode.
The episode. I'd be loud. I don't even know if I can repeat that comment on the air. But I see Gunny Chief here from Horrible Gamers. I see Fatal_Blades. You know that guy, Oolong?
I've heard he's awesome. That's all I know. Like he's super awesome.
Yeah, I was talking with Obi about your rebranding.
Mm-hmm.
And he, of course, went overboard. Is constantly plugging it wherever he could. Just put it in there, like, top star this, top star that. Hey, what am I eating? What are you eating? Oh, I'm eating top star ramen. Like, oh my lord. But my favorite thing was that he said that you changed your name. Because for the longest, I was like, no, Fatal, why did you do this? You went with the lead spelling of Fatal for your avatar, and you put a T after the 8. When the letter 8, when you sound it out, has a T sound in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you did it on purpose to troll.
I kinda, yeah. Like I've got small trolly tendencies. So like the team I play Call of Duty with, all of them have lowercase I, uppercase Q. And so to drive them insane, I always make my name with an uppercase I, uppercase Q. And they go mad because they're like, how come all of us have little, undercase I and big case Q, but he's got big case I and big case Q? And I'm like, because I'm a big deal.
I've had, in the past when I used to do a lot of more organized play, I had lots of folks that were like that, like you. And then I just finally gave up trying to do anything about it. But the thing is, it's a silly thing. But it does kind of create some dissent and some disconnect at times because people sort of feel like there's no structure, there's no order if like one person does whatever they want, and then it's like where do you draw the line? It's a slippery slope. So it's funny, but then it can quickly get out of hand.
Yeah, but they know I do it to troll. I'm like, I'm just trolling you guys, honestly, and they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, total troll. And then I can get on the account where it's correct, and they're like, oh, grumble, grumble, grumble. I'm like, troll.
I'd be loud said, oh, that's so radical. Which part? His trolley thing? Changing the case of his letters?
It's also the quickest way to find all your friends with OCD. Because they'll be watching it, and they'll be like, yeah. No, come on, no, why, no.
Yeah, I'm a little guilty of that. I'm not as bad as I used to be, but yeah, it could be a little disconcerting, let's say. I'd be lost that she's so in fear of your evil. That is evil. You are doing wicked things there, sir.
Mwahaha. Mastermind evil genius on the low key. Get it? Low key?
I was just gonna say, I see what you did there. Oh man, and actually I think I do have some news that relates to Thor and the MCU as a whole, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But if you're new to the show, I'm gonna say, the name Timey-wimey, people expect to hear about Doctor Who. Well, not just about Doctor Who. So if you're here for the Doctor Who, there's not enough Doctor Who talk, I'm sorry. But if you're staying away from the show because you're like, well, I'm not into Doctor Who, it's not really my thing. Well, are you okay over there, bro?
Yeah, why?
Oh, because you sound like you're breathing hard.
Oh man, I went for a jog. No, I don't know.
No, I was worried that something was happening. I was trying to play it off, but I'm like, I should probably ask. So you alright?
I don't know.
You're not feeling the vapors, are you? I do believe I have the vapors.
I mean, not other than my vapors, but that's I do declare.
I do declare. Mercy my, or mercy me. I kind of like that kind of Victorian swagger, you know?
You know, keeping it old school.
Yeah.
Way old school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even Ivy Lau was like, "What is Fatal doing?" ... Little suggestive, but anyway, you know, I do gotta say, a lot of folks like to vape now during podcasts. I seem to be like the big thing. You're one of the few people I know that doesn't vape right into the mic because I catch that a lot. So just a little PSA for our fellow podcasters: if you're into the vape, you know, that's cool, but you know, be mindful that that little gurgly sound and the huffing and puffing does come through quite often. Sometimes when you're not even by the mic, especially if you're running like those freaking 100 plus watt beasts that you have to like plug into a backpack so you can blow giant clouds of doom.
Hold on, I'll give a minor example. Just
so yours isn't that bad because a lot of people have the huge vents and it makes the bubble sound. It's not like they're like using the bong or something. It's crazy. Or vacuum cleaner. It's like
I don't even know what kind of vape that is. I was like, I've got a 4 airflow on 120 watts right now, so it's kind of out there.
You have it plugged into your Ghostbusters backpack?
No, it's cool. I pull start it. Sometimes you get the attachment where you can kick start it, and it helps. Looks like a smoke machine from back in the days of White Snake.
I wonder how long until like the box mods are gonna become longer and become like flutes or hookahs, and they're gonna have a bunch of like buttons on them and stuff.
They already have it.
Do they? I knew it.
There's already an e-hookah and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah. See, I had a feeling. I just haven't looked into it too much, but I haven't seen it be as popular though. And
No,
I figured
luckily.
it was a thing. Yeah. But it's like it went. You know, the whole thing, vaping went from being like small and discreet to just being about like massive size, like people rocking grenades and baseball bats. It's a little intimidating.
Oh man.
So yeah, back to what this show is. If you're new or newish, you know, this is a platform for a deep yet casual conversation. We like to keep it casual. We try to keep it clean. Try to avoid too much innuendo. And we just talk about anything geeky or creative. Lately we've been mainly talking about video games and sci-fi, fantasy type stuff, fandoms, the creative process. We banter a bit if you haven't noticed yet. And yeah, while there is some overlap between our other shows here on the Geeky Antics Network and our partner networks. When I say partner loosely, because you know there's no real money exchange. Just you know we're affiliated with them and that's about it. But we're not like in a formal incorporation, you know. But we keep it clean, and I think we try to go a little more nerdy, but not pretentious, you know. Just dig a little deeper than we usually do. Like so, sometimes we'll have a topic on another show, and I'll just say, or Ulan will say, well, you know, we talked about, it, but we didn't really get into these aspects. Let's dig deeper into it. Like for example, with you know how it is, Ulan, when you talk to Obi and try to go deep on some certain things. You could tell when he's disinterested because he starts fidgeting with stuff or changing the subject, or he just gets really quiet. So maybe that's why we're not doing webcam anymore. Because sometimes I'll watch the webcam and I'm looking at him like, why is he messing with stuff? Like, what's he doing? And it's like he's not paying attention to anything we're saying. But here, you know, we go deep on the stuff, and that's what we do. Basically, in a nutshell. Yeah. But if you do want us to go deeper on the Who stuff, you can always send us your topics or consider joining us as a co-host. You know, we have the voicemail / text line, SMS line. That's 646-801-2149. And our email, twtt@geekyantics.net. And everybody's welcome at tea time. Just, you know, just be careful of the language. That's the main thing we ask for. This is probably the only show we're going to keep clean because it's really hard to be mindful of that. You know, and every now and then everybody's prone to drop an F-bomb or an S-bomb. Sugar honey iced tea. BFT 9000 in the house. Good afternoon, silly people. That's his thing. We need to make that sound into a sound bite. BFT, that's what I'm thinking. So like I said, we have a great show ahead. Are you excited about what we have lined up, Oolong?
Most of it, yes.
Oh my. I think I know which aspect you're not excited about, but that'll be fun. We'll have a fun debate. I'm like
Okay.
99% confident I know which part you're not excited about.
See.
Uh, and I hear that you finally got a chance to watch The Librarians.
Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Told you, I knew you'd like it. I knew you'd like it. I had no doubt in my mind that would be an oolong show.
Yeah, it's got a very like Doctor Who meets Warehouse 13, a little bit of Sherlock thrown in. So I mean, it covers a pretty good amount of spectrums that I enjoy, and then just kind of throws them all into one show. It's a bit fan servicey, you know, like it. At times, I feel like it's trying a little too hard to be overly geeky for some people, but at the same time, it's done really well, and there's a good sense of humor and comedy in it, which is pretty fun.
Well, it's definitely self-aware because even the opening to each episode it had like a cinematic kind of thing. I think they're trying to go over the top and be more cinematic, and at the same time, like it's high production value, but it's really campy too. Like it doesn't take itself too seriously, but they also go deep too. So like it's a really good balance. I think I think they did a good job. But there's definitely some stuff where it's fan servicey and very tongue in cheek. But
Yeah, like very first episode. At one point, it's like, let's do advanced trigonometry. Okay, now let's make a cutting torch out of lunch meat. What? Okay then.
yeah.
That de-escalated quickly. That devolved.
Well, they had to. I think with that first episode, they really had to like set the expectations of what it was gonna be. Like they packed a lot of stuff into that first episode because they knew that if they didn't hook people in right off the bat, it'd be tough. So they got spin-off movies already, and they're up to season 2. They just wrapped that up actually. I think it's got a good. I think the show has legs, so I'm excited about it. Because I really miss Warehouse 13, Eureka, and it kind of fills that void. But I haven't seen Superstore yet. I know you recommended that. So,
Dude, it's so good.
And
So good.
I'll get around to it as we'll see. The second half of the show. I've been watching other stuff, but we'll get into that. So let's just jump in. Like I said, we do have a lot of stuff lined up. This is our intergalactic star map. This is where we kind of look ahead at what we're gonna talk about tentatively, because it depends. What we get to. BFT says the 3 movies came first. Did they? I thought there was one that came after season 1. And the show takes place after. Those are must be the adventures of Noah Wiley. I might just check them out. I've only seen one of the movies, and I could have sworn it happened afterwards. So, all right. Might be some homework there. Might be some homework. I thought there were only 2 as well. Interesting. I think that's the only complaint people really have, that Noah Wiley's not really in it as much, but they're kind of, for season 3, they're going to change that. Anywho, this is what we got coming up. We got, before we go deeper, that's where we do our shameless plugs and do a little housekeeping. Who knew? That's our news segment. We're going to kind of pave the road to E3 2016. We got a lot of tech and gaming news, some other stuff here and there. In our creative corner, we're going to do our usual TWTT word of the day. And our conundrum of the day, our creative conundrum of the day, is how do you find gigs? Sounds such a simple question, but I think it's something a lot of us struggle with. Because we're afraid of rejection, or, we get comfortable. And it's really tough because you kind of have to line things up in advance, because negotiations take a while and people drag their feet sometimes, especially when it comes to spending money. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We won't go too deep on it. We definitely want to get to the gaming verse, where we're going to talk about the latest game to come out, Doom. We're going to talk about oldie but goodie Scrolls, Overwatch. We'll talk about Duelist, which was recommended by BFT, and whatever else we've been playing. And then hopefully we'll make it to Tea Time Tidbits, and we'll talk about some anime and Once Upon a Time and whatever else we can squeeze in there. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
I got a surprise for the games I've been playing, so you'll see.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, because you sound a little devious there, like, yeah, like you're just tapping your fingers together. I don't know. Does it have to do something with about a new platform that you're on?
No.
Oh, okay, all right. Now I'm really excited.
It's a return to an older platform.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And BFT says that the third and last movie is referenced in the first couple of episodes. Oh, all right. See, they did a really good job then, because if you watch episode 1 of The Librarians, you don't feel like you missed anything. So that's good. You can have a backdrop, but you don't really need it. It makes me all the more curious. All right, so before we go deeper, like I said before, we keep the show family friendly. Obi, no cussing. If you're listening, plan to join in. But every now and then there is a little bit of innuendo. So we say this show is probably like PG-10. Because, kids today, I think, are in the know. They become, quote-unquote, mature at a younger age. As far as, like, what they're privy to. But as far as making responsible decisions, not so much. That doesn't change any generation. I be loud in the child. Dang. Mm-hmm. Which part is she talking about? I don't know. I like the word dang. Dang nabbit, dag nabbit, dang. It's all good. So yeah, our pal Kevin from the Worst Radio Show. We were catching up before the podcast. He's also from WRS Media, which I think is also on a holding pattern. And a member of the gang, part of the Geeky Ants community. He has a new show under his avatar on Twitch. His handle on Twitch, his personality on Twitch, KMagic101. So make sure you check out his channel. And he's teamed up with the somewhat famous Gothalion. I can never say his name. Gothlion. I'm just gonna call him Gothlion.
Gothalion.
Yeah. Have you probably been to his channel, right? He's pretty well known in the Twitch circuit.
Not yet. I'm gonna check it out now that I know that Kevin's doing some stuff with him, but I have not checked it out previously.
I think he got really big with Destiny, because that's like a really strong niche if you stick with it. But yeah, I think he's gonna be at the next Twitch Expo, or TwitchCon, whatever they're calling it. And he's been to a few like geeky events and whatnot. So as a guest, a panelist, stuff like that. So he's kind of a big deal. So then the new show is called The Jam. I have to check it out myself yet. I haven't done it yet. So can't really tell you what it's about, but I'm assuming it's probably about video games and whatever they feel like ranting about. Scrolls, an oldie but goodie. I just want to remind everybody that it's shutting down on or after July 1st, 2016. It's a whole awkward Microsoft acquisition scenario again, and as much as I love Microsoft, that's one of the things that makes me facepalm all the time about them. They pick up great companies, they have great properties, and they just kind of let them rot. So hopefully we could rally. I'd really like for the community to rally for this game. So if you play this game, definitely reach out to me, Yomar@geekyantics.net. All right, I'll get you to my personal email, and maybe we could coordinate something. I don't know, petition, or see if it's maybe if there's something already out there. We need to do some homework. We got a good month or so to do it, because I feel like this is a game that's really unique, and it'd be a shame for it to just disappear. People still haven't played it. I think now you can actually play the game for free. It used to be, that's part of the problem, is that you have to pay for it up front to play the game. And I feel like in this ecosystem, there's certain kind of games that need to be free up front, so you can build that user base and get people talking about it. And then when you have microtransactions on top of that, it's kind of like burning the candles on both ends, So a little rough. Madden Football, we've been talking about this a little bit. Super Bowl time has concluded, and somehow I was chosen as the winner by decision, because it was just really hard to coordinate a time with work. Kid, he's been busy with college and his new job. To be young again. But I'll take that. I mean, I think he would have won it, but hey, I'm Super Bowl champion. Yay! I think we're starting a new season soonish. So if you want to join us, our Xbox Live gamer tags are I'm YogiZilla. Oolong, are you still using IQ Freak Show? IQ Space Freak Space Show?
At the moment, yes.
And then OB1X2. That's the word one, not the number one. You can hit us up, and we'll do some Xbox gaming. Bilal says PG-10. Dang, that's what she's thinking about. Yeah, times are changing. The age of innocence, I don't know. I think kids lose. I would even say the kids kind of lose their innocence by age 8 because they're already dropping some knowledge and some bombs, and you're like, whoa. I didn't even know that until like I went to college. What else we got? Social Dozen session 8 is out, so make sure you check us out. That's one of our other shows here on Geeky Antics, and it's on we're syndicated on a bunch of different networks. The voicemail line for that is 201-762-4256. Again, 201-762-4256 if you're here in the States. And that's a show where we talk about a lot of things that are trending on the internet, social media, things that are buzzworthy, or things that are just happening in our lives, the topics that don't normally fit into the other formats of our respective shows. You can catch some previews over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Geeky Antics, geekyantics.net/The Social Dozen for the main feed, or our aggregate feed, geekyantics.net/podcasts. So, Oolong, why don't you tell folks how they can connect with us? Aha, caught him! Too soon? Did I lose you? There you are.
Yeah. So, to connect with us, all you have to do is click your heels 3 times and say there's no place like TWTT, but you must be wearing ruby slippers and hopping on one foot while clicking your heels. So it's not as easy as one might suspect.
This is you stalling for time.
Yeah, it is. Like a madman. I totally am looking. All right, I'm lost.
I'll keep moving along, and then jump to the Hugh New.
I mean, I can't lie. I jumped ahead and was looking at the word of the day.
Oh, that's why.
And so I got
a peek.
Completely lost. I always like watching the word of the day is always one of those. What is this? And so I kind of jumped ahead, and now I lost my place. But I was totally following still. Kinda, sorta, not really, maybe.
Well, you're gonna take the news segment then. So anyway, to connect with us on this show, that's Social Dozen, 646-801-2149. And actually, that voicemail line is good for the entire network. We encourage all our show hosts to use that if they don't have their own. 646-801-2149. Of course, let us know which show, which topic you're calling in reference to. You can text there as well. You can send us SMS messages. You can also connect with us on Facebook.com/Geeky Antics. Or just Google Geeky Antics. We're all over the place now. Or email us a short MP3 at mail@geekyantics.net, or for this show, twtt@geekyantics.net. Short MP3, not a WAV, not a PCM. MP3s are compressed. Anything else is going to be huge and won't work for email. And iTunes reviews, I see why people push for this so hard, because it's hard to get people to do it. And we got tons of downloads. We know there's people out there because we talk to you guys, and we see you in the chat, and we know you're out there. There's comments even on YouTube. But iTunes is kind of dead space. So if you do leave us a review, let us know what region you're in, because we may be missing it. Because you have to actually switch regions to see things that are not in your local region and in your local market. It's really awkward. And honestly, the easiest way to leave a review is to use the iTunes software on PC or Mac. Kind of stinks if you're not already in that ecosystem, but we'd appreciate if you do it. Especially if you already listen to podcasts. People do like those iTunes reviews, so we need at least one. I'm surprised we don't have any yet. At least not in North America region. Or United States, or the United States, I think is how they separate it. Canada, it's its own thing. It's crazy. It's so granular on iTunes. Oolong, you ready to jump into the news?
I am prepared for the news.
So who knew? Today we got some gaming, some entertainment, some tech news. We got a little bit of everything. I'm pretty sure you probably want to talk about this one, right? You want to take that?
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind talking about the NVIDIA 1070 and 1080 announced. Pretty awesome. If you guys are gamers, it's pretty hype. And now, finally, we're going to be seeing a bit more competitive pricing, which has kind of been a huge problem for NVIDIA, we'll say. Some of their cards, man, would range in like 4 or 5. I think, like at one point, one of their cards was almost $1,000.
Oh yeah, the Titan is 1,000 plus, or was at least.
Yeah, so hopefully this kind of marketing will stick around, and we'll see stuff to make stronger consoles. Yeah, but I also think that they're gonna get a foothold back into a lot of people.
You sync into the card like somehow. I'm like, okay. So, and the reason I say it's gonna probably lead to stronger consoles, because I know AMD right now is kind of strong on the console market. I think it's just gonna put overall, if Nvidia is lowering their prices, and providing more value, I think everybody else is gonna follow suit. And I'm more excited. I would say for anyone that's been on the fence about upgrading, or maybe on the fence about joining the PC, the quote unquote master race. The cool thing is, these are the reference cards, right? So, wait for the third-party ones. They're going to be even cheaper. So, and B50 saying G-Sync I've heard is great, but the monitors that support are too expensive. Yeah, it's way too expensive. I mean, I saw monitors like around the $1,200-1,500 price range, something crazy like that. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, it's worth it if you got the money to spend lowering their prices. And providing more value. I think everybody else is going to follow suit. And I'm more excited. I would say for anyone that's been on the fence about upgrading, or maybe on the fence about joining the PC, the quote unquote master race. The cool thing is, these are the reference cards, right? So, wait for the third party ones. They're going to be even cheaper. So, and B50 saying G-Sync I've heard is great, but the monitors that support are too expensive. Yeah, it's way too expensive. I mean, I saw monitors like around the $1,200-1,500 price range, something crazy like that. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, it's worth it if you got the money to spend, but I don't know. So, yeah, I think once you see like MSI, XFX, Sapphire, what are some other good ones? I don't know, whoever you like. Pretty much all of them are pretty safe. Asus, of course, is great.
The Evos,
EVGA.
Yeah.
Am I missing any other big ones? Well, it doesn't really matter. But there's a lot of options there. That's a good thing about it. And I feel like that's one thing I have noticed. Is I feel like there's more third parties that jump behind NVIDIA, the NVIDIA models. So you probably have more options there. But even then, like even with the third-party options, I still feel like it's always been Radeon, just a lot more competitive. So I think this news is going to finally balance out a little bit, so it finally gives the consumers a choice. So yeah. BFT says I think they're all coming on release. Let me check this again. Yeah. But the thing is, even if they're all gonna release with the official cards, I would still wait a little bit. Like you usually have to wait for like at least a couple of months before the prices start to really get to where they need to be at. Early adopters always pay the highest premium, And then maybe if you don't need all that performance, you could just get a 970 or 980, because those are gonna drop. The thing too, what was it? They were saying Oolong. What are they saying that? It's like performs twice as good as the last gen cards. On certain games they tried on Tomb Raider and I think The Division.
Yeah, they're saying basically it will revolutionize, as per they say every time. But this time it's actually looking promising. The ones they did try it on seem pretty spectacular.
And yeah, and they definitely pad those numbers because they say they always throw out 2 times or 3 times because it sounds good. But in actual tests, people were benchmarking them. People have the early versions. We're saying it's more on par with 10 to 20% performance boost. But the thing is, it's also lower power consumption. And they did say that these cards are better alternatives to like running dual, SLI setups, dual card setups. So that's a selling point because I feel like if you get a single card setup that compares to that, that's ideal. Unless you really want to go all out, then you could do the SLI. But I think that's more for people that really want to do 4K or multi-monitor setups and all this crazy stuff. I think they're really paving the way for virtual reality too. BFT said in the chat, "Oh, I need it." EVGA has a 1080 on their site, so it's looking like we have our choice of third party at launch. There you go. But again, for everyone listening, one thing I would caution is, hold out because if you buy it within the first 3 to 6 months, the chances are you're gonna be paying the higher price. And it happens. It never fails. People are like, unless you're really overdue for an upgrade, but you'll jump on board and it's like the next day price drop. You're like, crap. And there are some sellers that will like give you like a 30-day window, like Amazon. I think that has the best price guarantee and whatnot, and they're usually good about adjusting the price and refunding money or giving you a credit. But yeah, good stuff. Everybody's really stoked about this. Anything else you want to add to that, Oolong?
Nip, that pretty much covers it on my part.
So, let's talk a little bit about anime news. I had recommended World Trigger to you. I got up to episode 73, I believe it was, and I come to find out that it was canceled. Like at the end, they say, "This is our last episode for now. We may come back," and they're kind of silly about it. If you watch it, it kind of hints that they didn't want it to end, and there's a chance they might come back, so another network might pick it up. But basically, what happened? TV Asahi, I believe, in Japan, replaced their anime block with sports programs. Boo. So the manga's still going, so that's encouraging too, because they have source material. What's nice about this series, I would still recommend it. 73 episodes. I think it's quality. I think it has really good pacing. Some people said this filler. I didn't really get that sense. I enjoyed every episode and kept wanting more. And it's very easy to marathon watch and enjoy. Even the post-credit skits are great. Like I even enjoy that, which is saying something. I like the soundtrack. I like the character. I don't know why people really slam the show so much. But apparently there is a fan outcry, and the anime actually almost followed the manga on a one-to-one basis, which is something very rare. In fact, it was getting to the point where they would have needed to take a break anyway, because it was like, I think the manga is only like about 3 to 5 episodes ahead of what the anime is at now, which is not that much at all, not much of a buffer at all. So
that's pretty impressive. Like, dang, yeah. So they would have had to have at least taken like a seasonal break, let the manga kind of catch up more, and then gone back in. It'd almost be like Game of Thrones. Like, Game of Thrones stays kind of caught up to the books, but then you gotta hope the next book releases before you're gonna get another season.
Exactly. And then Game of Thrones plays it very safe because they just only do 8-10 episodes a season, which is nothing.
Yeah,
it barely wets your palate. But people keep coming back, so we'll keep track of that. I'm hopeful about it, because even though initially the reception of the show for World Trigger, for whatever reason, was really bad, I think I blame it to the hipsters that were like expecting something deeper or more thought-provoking. I don't know what they wanted from it, but I think it was just people complaining just because they could. They're complaining about how sometimes the show uses chibis and it's too much of a gag, but it has some serious stuff in there. It's not as, maybe it doesn't go as dark or as deep as some other shows do, but it's a serious show, and I like the comic relief. I don't know. Another comparable show that's on break for now is Fairy Tail, but that's confirmed to come back. They ended the last Fairy Tail's weird because they had an original series in 2011, took a little break. They came back out in 2014, and they did another series there, like a few arcs in that, and they ended that series with Fairy Tail Zero as a mini series within that main line. And yeah, it's a little weird, but I did enjoy that, and I can't wait for that to come back. There's still a lot of loose ends they have to tie up, and I think this show still has legs. And despite what people may say, like, it remains one of the top performers in Japan and even U.S. like anime top lists. It's always like top 10, top 20 for the manga and the anime. Are you into Fairy Tail at all?
I've got a lot of friends who really enjoy it. I honestly haven't started it. It's kind of one of those I've been holding on because I've heard about like the breaks it takes, and I have a lot of stuff I'm already watching. It's like, oh man, I can't wait for I'm having trouble waiting for the very next episode of Supernatural, and that's a week out.
Oh yeah.
And so
they're taking like 3 breaks this season,
and it's gonna be like, okay. And then they're like, Fairy Tail's taking a break. And every week I'm going to be like, get back.
This is going to be at least a year break, dude. So
that's what I'm saying.
It's a good job beyond point.
So if I get into it and I got to wait a year, bro, you want to know the number one thing that has been killing me I've been waiting for? And I almost feel bad. I feel like I shouldn't have gotten into the series because of how long I've been waiting.
What's that?
Sherlock.
Oh boy, yeah.
I've been waiting. Like, they left it on a wicked cliffhanger, and then we got like the one episode. And now I'm back waiting again. I'm like, come on.
Well, you should have seen that coming because, Moffat dips his hand into too many things at once, I
mean, I get it, but man.
But see, here's the thing, though. This is the way they ended Fairy Tail for now. It's not a cliffhanger, so like you're gonna get your closure.
Okay,
and
so that wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah. The questions you have are more like, I wonder where this character's been at. I wonder what they're gonna do next. It's not like The Walking Dead where who are they gonna kill? Oh, we gotta wait a whole year now.
So see, I kind of like that. Like that's what SAO does, Sword Art Online. And when they wrap a season, it's not like big cliffhanger making you wait. It's like, oh hey, we've wrapped this story up into a nice neat little bow. Something else will happen, it will, but we're not going to be like, will Kirito survive? Will Asuna bake cookies? Find out next year on Dragon Balls. They don't do that. They're like, okay, so this all happened and now it's kind of done, and now there's going to be a lull, and then something else will happen, and that's where we'll bring you in next season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's good to have loose ends, but some cliffhangers are just cheap ploys, and I have a problem with that. So no, they did a good job having a good stopping point, to the point where at the end of the series they did a prequel type of thing to give it more of a backdrop, and I actually really liked that because it made you appreciate a lot more everything that you saw up to that point. So, I'm still in love with that series. I will warn you, it has some similarities to a Naruto or Soul Eater. But you like some of the other shows, but you don't like Naruto, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like Naruto, but I like Soul Eater, so now I'm torn.
Well, I say that in terms of you have one of the main characters, arguably the protagonist, is like kind of a klutz and kind of dumb, but he has charisma, and through sheer determination, he makes it through things and gets better and more powerful. But he's not really smart or a tactician, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which is funny because World Trigger actually makes fun of that in the show. There's a few times they reference And there's a scene where one of the characters is like kind of this really tough girl. She's like, "Look, you gotta train, but don't you think that just by training you're gonna get better in like a couple of weeks? That only happens in like cheap teenagers boy novels." Like she said that. I'm like, I know what you're talking about there.
Believe it.
Yeah, like World Trigger. Like, I think that's one of the problems people have with World Trigger is that the protagonist is a smart guy, but no, even regardless of how smart he is, he doesn't have natural talent. So like he's struggling and he's kind of like weighing down his team, and that's like his dilemma. So I tell you that just so that I go into it with low expectations, but I really love Fairy Tail, and I think you might like it because it doesn't have so much of the tropes like Naruto does. I mean, there are some tropes like Natsu on Fairy Tail gets motion sickness, so he doesn't like transportation. He likes to just walk everywhere. But he's okay if he's flying in the air. It's kind of the ongoing joke there. But he does not. No one really has like a catchphrase though. Like, I think catchphrases when they're overdone, that can get a little grating. Memphis Yeoman in the house. What's up, man? So did I scare you away from the show by saying that now? Aw. Give it a shot. This is what I say. If you have a void, you catch up on everything, because like BFT said, most shows are approaching their season finales now. It's a good time to catch up with the anime. So, if you have a void, I have a good feeling you will not regret getting to Fairy Tail. If anything, I would say, I make the comparison just because I kind of group all ensemble cast anime as like epic kind of team based anime. I don't know. That's my genre that I made up in my head. Like you got your Bleach, your Fate, Soul Eater, maybe even One Piece. Depending how you look at it. And we have a bunch of different kind of superhero type of people and epic battles and all that stuff. Okay,
that's right, folks. That's the response he gets.
Yeah. Give it a shot if you get the time. And we're gonna get into Naruto. I'm gonna sell you yet. I'm gonna brainwash you or something.
As I'm gonna fall asleep one day, all of a sudden I'll forget like Team Speaks on or Skype's on or something, and you'll just loop a play. Believe it. Believe it. Believe it. Believe it. Wake up, man. I don't know why, but I feel like watching Naruto.
If you got rid of that aspect of the show, and maybe some of like Naruto's bumbling idiot parts, would you enjoy it more, you think? I think I asked you this last time, but
I mean, possibly. Maybe if they... I mean, luckily there's not a lot of filler, but it feels like they try to make me like characters that I don't care about. And so if they could cut out all the arcs on the characters I just don't care about.
Okay.
Like, so I've thought about rewatching it and trying to find a way to like abridge Naruto for my taste.
Yeah.
So like just go to the wiki and be like, episodes with Gaara. I can skip all of these.
See, I think that's a big key differentiation there is that Fairy Tail has a big cast, and I think they're all important. They all bring something to the table. Like, Naruto is named after Naruto. It is his show, and sometimes they try to take these little segues to make you appreciate the other characters. So I can see where you're coming from with that. Like, because if you don't resonate with you, then it's kind of like, let's move on.
It's like if I watched Alf, and they're like, so, these next 2 episodes are dedicated to the story of the cat Alf is about to eat. What? I don't care about the cat, and I know now at the end that the cat gets eaten. I can skip the next 2 episodes. Like, let's get back to the Alf.
Fair enough. Yeah, it makes sense. But here's an anime that you're big on. One Punch Man, Season 2 it's confirmed. They're working on the manga and anime. I think it's still in production. They're
That
working
is
on
going to
it.
be spectacular.
Yeah, they're working on it side by side. So that's quite a task because you're talking about each manga has like at least what is it, like around maybe 100 panels per issue, and then
Oh yeah, easy.
good lord, I didn't want to think about how many cells you have to put together, how many frames you have to do for an anime. That's daunting to even think about.
Luckily, like for the manga, they'll go through it quicker because they just do it in the black and whites. It needs an inker, like a drawer, an inker, a shader, and can pretty much go to print.
Yeah.
When it comes to the anime, they need a drawer, a color artist, a shader, and they've got to then put it together, cut it, edit it, voiceover. So I think it'll be good because they can keep the manga ahead of the series, potentially. Just like they probably, could have done with World Trigger.
Yeah.
They can keep it ahead, especially if they're going to use a lot of the same kind of... Like, you could use manga cells directly into the anime to kind of help reduce some stuff. And of course, luckily, like One Punch Man, there's a lot of times where it's kind of deadpan face expressions, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's very reusable. You know what I mean? Like you could.
Yeah. There's a lot of assets they can reuse for sure.
Yeah,
and it's also
replug.
It's also like a more simple art style, and that's not a bad thing. But like sometimes with certain productions, you have these intricate set pieces, and that's hard because you can't always reuse those, and there's a lot of detail in it, like like your typical sci-fi type of stuff. Like you have a spaceship, you have all these little circuits and what that creates more work, all the blinking and little details you put here and there. It's crazy. That's why you see some anime productions where it's like the background's kind of like hazy or just cheap because they're just bringing the focus on the characters, So I think they're good. I think with World Trigger too, the sad part there is that the creator is very passionate about the show. Like he was actually really heartbroken that people didn't initially receive it the way he expected. Like the show took a little break, then season 2 came out. He's like, he said, he actually told the fans, please watch the show, talk to your friends about it. Honestly, I don't even care if you pirate it.
He's like, I don't care, just see it. Do anything you can.
Yeah, so like, see, I respect that because he really believes in what he's doing. Like, that kind of passion is kind of rare in any creative space because honestly, what happens a lot of the time is you get jaded because as much as you love something, it's your baby. People knock it so much, and maybe you don't make the money you want from it, or it becomes more of a labor of love, and eventually it becomes daunting, and you become a little, kind of curmudgeon-y,
Now there's a word, curmudgeon-y.
Curmudgeon-y. Not really a word, but we're gonna go with it. So, they were saying that for One Punch Man, the creator was saying something about a King Hunter arc. Something like that. Like, huh? Like, he spoke about it. I must need to watch One Punch Man again or read the manga again because he talked about it in a very matter-of-fact way, as if this is something that was already set up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember really any loose ends from One Punch Man. Huh. And some people are saying this is projected for next year, but some of the fans are saying it's probably likely going to be a 2-year away kind of thing.
I mean, it'd be nice if it was next year, but that could be wishful thinking. If it's 2 years out, I don't mind as long as they do it well. Because again, it's not one of those leave me on a cliffhanger type deals, Yeah,
a lot of that also is localization, right? So, best case scenario, you get some fan subs, and the anime's out end of next year, I think, realistic, and then we'll get some fan subs as soon as, I don't know, January, maybe 2018. That's the way it's playing out in my head right now. We'll see.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty fast now about the fan subs. I mean, they maybe like the fast ones are usually pretty crappy, but they're there.
Yeah, but they exist if you need your fix right away.
Yep. Which, by the way, the fan sub of Naruto the Last, that I picked up one and it was really bad. Really bad. This weekend in video games, we got All Gods Are Free to play on Xbox One. Smite. So might be something to play this weekend.
I love Smite and I hate Smite at the same time. It's super fun to play. I really enjoy it.
Okay, but
I bought the Ultimate Gods pack on PC.
Oh, you could transfer that.
I bought the Ultimate Gods pack on the Xbox One.
Okay.
And now that I've got a PS4, I can't bring myself to buy the Ultimate Gods pack again.
You could transfer.
It hasn't let me transfer yet. I was supposed to be able to transfer it on the Xbox One, and it didn't.
Yeah, it does. It's just they don't make it obvious. If you look it up, there's the process you have to go through.
Oh, I followed it, and I went to the site, and I tried to link the account. It never carried over. I had to wind up buying it again.
And it's a one-time thing, too.
I mean, if it's transferable and I could transfer it to the PS4 I have, very possible I will do that. But the fact that I've buried basically over $60 for all the gods on 2 platforms, and now I've got a 3rd platform, and I'm like, man, do I really want to spend like another $30-40? I don't know, but
Let's
it's
do what
a
I do.
fun game. It's so fun.
I got some Ultimate God Packs codes from them, and I just gave them away, and I just went free to play with my gameplay, and I just buy the few guys I like, because I play a lot of Assault, and I don't want to like have random rolls on guys I don't really like.
Right.
Which is why I didn't do the Ultimate God Pack. I mean, don't get me wrong, $30 for all the gods now and in the future, fantastic deal. Probably one of the best deals in gaming, if not the best.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at how much people have shelled out for things like characters in League of Legends and whatnot, I mean, because grinding to earn them is not going to be the way to do it. And Smite, they even make it easier if you do want to eventually grind, but there's so many, in the fact that they offer a pack that's like, here's all the gods and the future releases for one flat drop, and it's cheaper than actually buying a new game. It's a good deal. It is.
And it often goes on sale $15 too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I've done it twice. Do I really want to do it a 3rd time? It's tough for me. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, that's out there. Maybe we'll play this weekend. Nintendo NX. So it's got a very lukewarm March 2017 release date. No other details. They said that they have no other announcements for E3. They're kind of waiting for the Tokyo Game Show. And it makes you wonder, like, what are we really going to expect in E3? I think Sony and Microsoft are going to really take advantage of this and really announce something big, so we'll see. And I was going to speculate it, but I think we should move on because we still have a lot more to get into.
Okay.
Did you have anything you wanted to add to that? Like, what you expect in E3? Like, one big announcement is going to happen?
Not really. Like, the biggest thing that caught me as far as that whole thing goes is, why is Nintendo releasing in March? Like, why are they not aiming to go for like Christmas?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they were aiming for Christmas, but they couldn't hit the deadline. But, and then instead of having people wait yet another year, since it's been so talked about, maybe they're hoping the swell will get it. But March seems kind of awkward. Like, heck, I would have even pushed it like maybe another month or two and tried to get it like, going into summer or graduation gifts or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe, I'm sure they have a reason, but it's just confusing. The March release date confuses me.
Well, the Wii, they're the best-selling console, if I'm not mistaken, sold 100 million units worldwide, right? And I believe it was released in May or June 2006, but it didn't really hit its peak until 2008, and then it kind of plateaued, and it kept selling consistently, maybe a little higher in some seasons. But, like, the holiday sales didn't come until afterwards. So, I mean, they started selling like hotcakes for like 6-7 years. You know, this is
Mhm.
like one of the hot items. You know, I think the peak was maybe like a 4-year period, which is still really good for a console having that kind of momentum. But it's interesting because I've been looking at like Nintendo's financials, and their stocks were selling during their glory days with the Wii. Their stock shares were about around 500, 600 a pop, right? That's a lot.
Mhm.
And now they're trading at 140. That's a big drop.
Yeah.
So they could only go up from here. But I think in E3, what we're gonna see is more of the VR stuff. I think if Microsoft is smart, they're gonna focus on the software and not really jump into the hardware. I think they should wait it out and let Sony and Nintendo make mistakes first and learn from them. Because if they announce iterative hardware, they need to really do something that will wow people, something really worthwhile, you know, to get people to upgrade or get people to come back to Xbox.
One thing I would like to see though is potentially HoloLens. That is a hardware from Microsoft I want more information on.
Well, we've talked about this before. That they're pricing it at around $3K.
That was the dev kit. That was first release dev kits
right, yeah, right.
for
That's
3K.
the dev kit.
So we still don't have a hard price on what it's going to go for. But
Yeah,
if
but
they could also push it to where you could console through, like, console link it to the HoloLens, could you imagine that, dude? Like, just who needs a TV? I'm looking at my wall and playing Call of Duty, or I'm getting this really cool interactive experience, like something where you could be playing and say you just look at your, like, if you focus, look at your score streak, you can call it in without having to take your hand off the stick and hit the D-pad.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe they create a puzzler game, which is one thing I'm really I want to see, where it changes some of the things in the room that you're looking at, and it creates this entire like puzzle breakdown. And
oh yeah, listen, I'm with you. I'm not trying to rain down anyone's party, but like I know that was the dev kit. But they also said that they're trying to focus on business applications. They're not really pushing the gaming thing. Because this is going to be, regardless of what the price point will be, this is going to be an even more discretionary purchase, more high-end luxury purchase than VR is. And it makes sense because I think augmented reality and, true having, people talk about second screen experience, but this is something that overlays. It's even deeper than the second screen experience. I think augmented reality and HoloLens, that's far more exciting than VR. VR does not do it for me. So I'm with you, trust me. I just think that this is going to be one of those things that it's going to be a very small group of gamers that's going to get it. The same people that have $5,000 computers and play Minecraft and League of Legends all day because they can.
I mean, I think that if they weren't aiming towards a more gaming community, then it was dumb to debut the Minecraft the way they did, because that automatically put them into a gamer's realm, like as a gamer, when I saw that, I was like, bro, the limitless potential in that for gaming is huge.
But see, this is the thing though, they did that at E3, right?
Yeah.
E3 to me is not for the consumers. It's not for the gamers.
Okay, but what about the post? Since then, they've shown yet another game where, like, stuff like the monsters are coming out of the walls and kind of breaking the walls down, and like the giant spider boss and stuff, and dude sitting there doing the shooter through the wall. Like, they can say it's not a gaming application. But I think at the end of the day, they're not going to have a choice. Like, it's going to become more video game application than it's going to become any type of business or high end. Because I mean, it's not worth it. I mean, as it is, it has to be like, it can be a standalone computer, yes, but it's more effective hooked into your computer. And so, yeah, you can take it and use it as like a PDA cell phone-ish type thing out on the street. But, you're not going to see it in a business capacity. A boss wouldn't give their people that. Oh, what is he doing? He's killing spiders that only he can see coming out of the wall. You realize this is a business meeting, right? Only he can see these spiders. Okay, I'm just gonna call some friends in some white jackets that happen to be butterfly catching enthusiasts. So don't worry if they come with big butterfly nets, and they're on their way. Don't worry about that.
And yeah, and the thing about that is that cell phones are already distracting as it is. So imagine HoloLens. Oh man, the multitasking is gonna be real.
Dude, people will be sitting at a conference room table, and they're just like, Johnson, what are you doing? I almost have the diamond. If I just blow the dynamite up here. What? Those projections look good, sir.
Yeah.
No. Diamond armor. Like,
you could do it on the low. You just gotta play it off. Yeah. There's a lot of potential here. I think what happens with this kind of stuff is they gotta build the interest in the third parties to develop the software. So maybe if you're someone that has a lot of good ideas, maybe you could pitch them to people that are in position to develop the software and set up some kind of deal where your intellectual property is protected. You get credit for the creation of it. Maybe you could be a creative director. You don't have to actually program it yourself. There's more power in having the project management skills and the vision than there is in coding, to be honest. Because those are the people that really make the big money, the people that are visionaries. You know, I can find the people that could do the grunt work.
If I could if I could do that, I have so many ideas for things I want to see out of HoloLens. I'd be rich.
So I typing up some documents, some pictures, man. You might be able to shop it around. You never know. But let's move on, because we are spending a lot of time in the news, and there's still much more to talk about. But so there's a big thing about Overwatch, because on PC they had a $40 option. On console it doesn't exist because of the licensing and whatnot. People are worried that it's not going to be not many people playing on the consoles, and it might suffer the same fate as Battleborn, which Battleborn is not a bad game. It's actually a really good game, but full price, kind of rough. So we'll see what happens with that.
I think Overwatch will do fine.
I think it's not gonna do as. I still think it's not gonna do as well on console as people think.
Everyone I talk to on consoles super hyped. Like, just coming out of the beta, I ran into groups of people who were like 6 players trying to just get the game and play it together because of how much fun they had in the beta. I don't know. I think it'll do really well. I think it'll surprise a lot of people.
I think it's definitely going to do well for sure, but I don't think it's going to do as well as PC because there's an ecosystem there already and people understand more. But on the flip side, this is something that's different than the usual kind of stuff we see on console, and there's not that much content on console, so there's still a bit of a void, right? So they're releasing a product in a vacuum, you know, but by that same logic, Battleborn should have done really well, especially people that love Borderlands. Actually, the people that really love Battleborn are people that like Borderlands, but everyone else is kind of like, not really that great. I don't see why it's a full-price game. So that's kind of discouraging. But Blizzard has better luck making games more accessible. So I think overall the hype for Overwatch has been greater than Battleborn for sure.
Yeah.
But they're comparable games. That's why I'm concerned. The $60 price point, I think it's rough. There should have been a $40 option. They should have found out some way to strike a deal with that.
And they probably will. It'll probably be kind of a later thing that you'll see where they do something kind of like, you know how Xbox has the games with gold discount? PlayStation has the PlayStation Plus discount.
Right.
I think after the big launch, maybe a week or two later, they'll be like, hey, $40 option to balance out with PC.
Yeah. But it needs to come sooner than later because you need to build a community around these kind of games. And the thing is, when you look at it, you know, it's just, I feel there's still, even on console, there's still other options, and there's cheaper and free options. That's the difficult part. Like, yeah, Overwatch is different from Smite, but is it different enough for me to justify spending money on it? Same thing with Battleborn. You know, that's the thing. Now,
Yes.
if people have unlimited income or disposable income, they're not making the argument like, oh, this is another game to add to my library. But if you're someone that's frugal like me, you're like, well, I have something that kind of fills this void right now. I don't have a need for this yet, so I'll wait for it to go on sale, or maybe I just won't get it all.
See, I mean, I'm probably gonna wait for it to go on sale, honestly. But I still fully intend to pick it up because.
For what platform?
Huh?
What platform?
For Overwatch, I might go to the PlayStation. I actually have a full group of 6 who play on PS. Like, I've got probably a larger group talking about it on PSN than I do on Xbox. So probably would wind up getting Overwatch on PlayStation.
This is what's tough about it. It's so sharded right now. It's rough. But we'll move on though. We'll probably talk. We'll probably revisit that too because I'm still debating. You know, we still got about a couple weeks. By the time that our next show comes out, it'll be out, I think. Yep.
Yeah.
The 24th it comes out. So yep. Dark Souls is done. The creator says the Dark Souls 3 is the last of the games, but there will be steady DLC for Dark Souls 3. And he's wanting to move on to new things. From Software has new IP in the work, and it's already in production. They won't say what it is. It's another Bloodborne type of or pseudo spinoff. Who knows? And last thing in the news, the inventor of cell phones, Marty Cooper, says wireless charging via radio waves is the next big thing. And I'm just thinking to myself, are there going to be health risks? Will this play nice with other wireless devices? I don't know. Sounds cool in theory, but beaming energy through the air? I mean, we were already kind of doing it anyway. It's just harnessing those waves into something that could create power.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be good. As far as health risks, who knows? But in the modern day, everything will kill you. Breathe the air outdoors. You're probably at risk for cancer or something. Yeah. So, wirelessly charging your cell phone's probably as risky as going outside, getting a tan, or crossing the street. Who knows? We'll see.
It's interesting, though.
Everything's dangerous anymore.
Yeah, that's what I say. Is just do what makes you happy in the end, and it's just moderation, I guess, is the key. But let's get into our creative corner. We're going to do the TWTT word of the day, and then we'll do a quick creative conundrum so we can go into the gaming verse and hopefully talk a little bit about TV stuff. So, I don't know. We may not make it to the TV stuff. No promises. But creative corner is usually where we have writing and creative prompts. We talk about design concepts and ideas, inspirational quotes. Get your creative juices going. And let's jump into it. TWTT word of the day. Today's TWTT word of the day is brought to you by Dictionary.com, of course, Derps of Doom, and that pesky person that always finds you for jury duty, no matter where you move or how much you try to hide or blend in. So it's happened to all of us, or if you're not older, you're probably not. But I would likely, I would say that this refers to maybe some of the shenanigans that take place on other Geeky Antics shows, on our other shows. Not here, but I think it's apropos for the other shows that we are involved with in some capacity. And the word is turpitude. I don't know why that makes me giggle. Turpitude. And it's a noun that means vile, shameful, or base character, or depravity. Depravity, whatever way. If you want to sound fancy, you say depravity. I need my privacy.
It's depravity.
Depravity. It can mean a vile, depraved act. You should read the quote.
He would perhaps argue that though abstract right is absolute and unchangeable, the alternative wrong, though never shading down into right, varies immeasurably in degrees of turpitude.
I don't know why I love that so much. And that quote comes to us from Joseph Furphy. That's a great name, too. Such is Life, 1903.
Man, if Furphy was a word, I would use it in every sentence I could think of.
I would imagine if Furphy was a word, it'd probably refer to someone that's kind of being fun, perhaps silly. Like, you're being really furfy today. Take it down a notch.
What were you doing? I spent all yesterday watching furfy cat videos on YouTube.
Ooh, it's gonna involve from some furry activity too. Interesting. So our quick creative conundrum. We're not gonna jump too deep into this, because last time we did this, we talked about pricing, and kind of some of the ideas to consider when doing pricing. And it's interesting because we've had some feedback since then. People are saying that they're actually moving away from putting their prices online now because it pigeonholes them. And it's funny because for the longest, people were saying put your prices online because it removes some of the friction in the process. And I think, I kind of go with the school of thought that pricing should happen organically, depending what space you're in. There's some things you could price out statically, especially hard goods, tangibles. But with services, I think it comes down to negotiation, seeing what's affordable and communicating value. But how about finding those gigs, finding those contracts? So we'll go over some quick tips here. And let's see how we are on time. Yeah, we could go into this a little bit. So this is some very quick tips, and if you have some of your own, feel free to write in or tweet us, leave us a message on Facebook, whatever you want to do. The number
leave
one,
it in an iTunes review.
leave a tip there. I don't know if it'd be the best place, but sure, why not?
Hey.
Like an Easter egg. I'll buy it. So number one, there's no particular order, but the first one I would like to share is that there's a secret strategy for finding work that people don't talk about. Work with your competition. Team up with your competition. And this is probably the most effective method because no one does it. Especially not at big corporations. I can't tell you, like, and I need to do this more often myself, but, like, I know a lot of people that work in similar space as I do. And sometimes I'll just go to them and it's like, hey, do you need any help with any projects? Actually, I do. Like, hey, or I'll just say, hey, how's everything going? And I'll get them talking about what their latest project is. And then they say, well, if you want to collaborate on something, then let's put our heads together. But people are so scared of giving away their secret sauce. Everybody thinks they have some, like, idea that no one else had, and they're scared that they're going to lose that. And
it's Thousand Island dressing.
Yeah.
I for everyone worried about giving away your secret sauce, it's Thousand Island dressing. Now that fear is gone, let's start moving into things.
Yes, it's ketchup and mayonnaise. Put together.
With a little bit of Worcestershire.
Mm-hmm. There you go. It's Russian dressing, it's Thousand Island dressing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you gotta realize it's more important to have collaboration and maybe build community if it's appropriate for your brand. So, sometimes you reach over across that table, try to shake a hand, and people will meet you halfway. Be surprised the results you get. And the truth be told, most people are too proud to ask for help, so offering help is more effective, and it opens up doors. Another thing you could do with, kind of building upon that notion is you can ask around and see what communities and platforms your colleagues are using for freelance and consulting gigs. Job sites, like the mainstay ones, like, I don't know, what's big now? Hot Jobs, Monster, I don't know what else people are using now, but those are so heavily frequented that there's a lot of gatekeepers and BS, and there's usually very low chance that you're going to get attention through those ones. So you got to look for more niche sites, depending what space you're in, what you're looking for. Entrepreneur and other sites have good lists to start with these kind of sites. I think one is Upwork, TopTool, Guru's still around. 99 Designs. There's a lot of other things like that. Get a Coder, iFreelance, Project for Hire, Simply Hired. There's other ones, that are lesser known. The less known they are, the more chance you're gonna get a response, but also the less options you'll have. So the more you want something kind of middle of the ground, so you have some options and more valid leads. And when you look for these. On these lesser known sites, be wary of scammers and people lowballing. It's gonna happen. So, You know, I say sometimes it's not even worth working if you're gonna get lowballed really hard, but sometimes it's worth it just to get that experience and keep yourself billable. So it's a tough call, and you gotta know what your comfort level is. And my dogs are freaking out in the background. Another thing is to reach out through your warm market, and not necessarily work with people in your warm market, but just kind of reconnect with people. Like I said earlier, this is similar to team competition, but you can team with the competition. It could be a cold call thing, but your warm market is a little different because you want to reconnect with them. It might be people that you've talked with, maybe you had some brainstorming sessions with, but you never really formally worked with them. And then you just reconnect, you know, if you haven't been in constant contact, and naturally work in there. It's a warmer approach, and it's actually much easier than approaching friends, because friends are probably the worst way to get referrals, sadly. Because when you do work, when you do like an entrepreneurial thing or a project, friends are usually the most brutal or the most absent-minded when it comes to what you do. You know, now if you want brutal honesty and critiques, you go to the friends. You know, if you want to develop a tough skin, you know, and get used to objections and pushback, then that's when you go to friends. But I would not start with going to friends. Like, and when I say friends, I mean close friends, not people that you know on Facebook. And the same thing with family. There's a lot of crowdsourced websites out there that promise you money for content you develop after the fact. I'd probably stay clear of those. Most of those have been a bust. You know, because they promise that they'll pay you at the end of the month or the end of the week, and 9 times out of 10 they don't. So it's just not a good use of your time. There's other ways you can develop residual income. And the number one thing I would say is keep your spirits up, because it could be daunting. I mean, I don't know about you, Alon, but I hate the job application process, and looking for work is my least favorite part. You know?
Yeah, not fun. Not fun.
Yeah, you run into so many clowns, and it's a lot of wasting your time, and then you just feel like, why even bother? But you know, don't fear rejection. In fact, try to welcome it, because the way I look at it is, when you get rejected by the person, I mean, something better is out there for you, and it wasn't that. So that's one way to look at it. In our show notes, if you want to read more about this, we got some things to consider. If you're feeling a little deflated, or if you need some more pointers on you know, hunting for work. And it's not so much for jobs. This is more for freelance, you know, consulting work, creative gigs. One thing I would say is keep in mind that a lot of people that are looking for short-term hires, you know, they're doing gigs, short-term projects, you know, anything like 3 to 6 months, you know, these trial periods, these short-term contracts. Chances are that they're doing that because they're trying to minimize their risk in their investment. So, like, they're not going to be as picky as someone that's hiring you full-time. Because it takes a lot to onboard someone for a full-time position, right? You got to do their benefits and all this stuff. And, you know, there's a lot of gatekeepers you have to deal with, a lot of screening. You know, with the whole process with freelance work and consulting work is a whole different beast. And usually, if you make a good first impression, you're in, you know, unless they really want to weigh out the options. But the consideration of time is a big one. Like, how long is the project going to take, they project, and that's going to determine how much screening they're going to do, and how mission critical the project is as well. If it doesn't impact their core business, then you might have a little more wiggle room. And that can also help you with negotiating price. Anything you want to add, Ulam?
No, I mean, that pretty much covers it, as far as I can think of. Self-promotion, always kind of a good thing. Social media, decent outlet. Squirrel mail, it's a thing I'm trying to get going. Yeah. Just tie a note to a squirrel. Whoever gets the note, that's who it was intended to.
I do like that.
I think that could be awesome. The hardest part so far has been getting them to keep their little carrier hats on.
You try courier pigeons too. They kind of have give them a little satchel where the notes fall out. The
pigeons have had their moments. I think it's the squirrel's time to rise.
Yeah. And squirrels know about the hustle because they're always trying to get a nut, man.
That's it.
They know about the hustle, man. By the way, we offer services. We have a referral network of different consultants and freelancers like Oolong and Stan and whatnot and myself. So if you're looking for specific services, go to geekyantsnet.net/service to get an idea of what we offer. Or just use our contact form. Let us know what you're looking for, and we'll send it to the right party, and or at least entertain your ideas, your requests.
By the way, the best thing about squirrel mail?
What's that?
They work for peanuts.
Got them. So we're probably not gonna make it to Tea Time Tidbits. I just wanted to say I am giving Once Upon a Time a good go.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk briefly about it. Instead I got sucked into the world of anime. Like, for some reason, Once Upon a Time made me want to watch more anime. So I caught up on One Piece. I caught up on World Trigger.
Is that what made you watch Fairy Tail?
There you go. I caught up with Fairy Tail. I caught up with Naruto. And I watched Shimoneta, aka SOX.
Oh, dude. Shimoneta is so good.
Yeah, I finally finished that because they had taken a little break between the last, for the last 3 episodes that came out. So I watched those back to back. I love that. By the way, not safe for work, not safe for kids.
Yeah.
But the uncensored version actually isn't really that bad. But there's a lot of innuendo, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
And by the way,
that's the whole premise of the show.
Well, Shimoneta is a great one because the whole thing about it is it's about oppression, it's about censorship, and it's really great. Like, it has a message, but it doesn't really force it down your throat. And I like it because Shimoneta is like a Japanese for perversion, or better yet, dirty joke, I believe is the translation. Yeah. So the full title is a much longer thing. It's like it translates to a boring world where dirty jokes do not exist. It's like Shimoneta ni Sagari Nihoto, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, it's a super long title, but it's so good.
Yeah, if you look it up, SOX, it's clever because the O is supposed to be Japan, they use O's and circular things to block out letters, So, it's SOX, it's actually something else. Use your imagination. So I want to say real quick, I'm going to stick with Once Upon a Time. All right?
Mm-hmm.
I won't give you any homework. I know your plate is full. The only thing I'm going to say is this. So I did indeed watch this season already, but I'm watching from the beginning again anyway. Your trick question about who first went into Storybrooke, or who first left Storybrooke, you got me good. Because I was thinking much further ahead. But I was close because I went down the lineage. So the answer was not Henry, but rather his mother, Emma, right? Who first
was it?
Oh my goodness. Stop it.
It was not.
Okay.
It was not.
But it's still kind of a trick question either way.
Nope, really isn't. Wait for it.
Okay. So if it's something that I missed, I mean, I'm only like 2 or 3 episodes away from the season 1 finale.
Uh-huh.
The fact that I didn't pick up on that, either I didn't get up to it or I don't remember it. Here's the thing with the show. I'm enjoying it, but it kind of suffers the same issues that Lost Girl did. Except Lost Girl had memorable characters.
It's like it suffers the same problem that Lost Girl did. That I realized how awesome it was before you.
But see, there's some bad, it drags down. I feel it's a pacing issue. I think I'm trying to put my finger in it, and I'm like, I think it's a pacing issue because sometimes, you know what I've been doing? I just skip ahead in the episode. I'm like, this is a boring episode, and I just jump ahead. Unless I go to the next episode and it has a preview, and I realize I missed something big. Then I go to the part in that episode that I actually care about. That said, I do like how things are heating up with Mr. Gold and Henry's father, the rogue writer, the Mad Hatter dude. Like now it's actually getting a lot more interesting. For some reason, I don't remember most of this stuff. Like, it really didn't resonate. But now the second time going around, some of it's really clicking with me. I just feel like it's a slow burn, and then it finally gets to that good point. So it's like, all right, now how are they going to get out of this mess? So I'm going to stick with it. I'm enjoying it. It's just, I feel like it doesn't hook me in as much as I'd like. And I can't really say exactly why yet. I like Emma. I think she's very easy on the eyes. But sometimes I look at her and I'm like, is it me or does she always have the same kind of grimacy face? Like, she rarely smiles. Like, she's constantly
yeah, kind of. She always has a look that's suspicious of everything, I would say.
Yeah, like, her facial expression looks like either A, she farted and she cannot stand her own stench, or B, someone else farted and she's trying to figure out who did it.
Who farted? It was one of them. Put on my detective hat real quick.
So, you know, it's a great show. I don't want to knock it down. It's just, I started watching it and then I just said, you know what? I feel like watching some anime. So somehow it inspired me to watch anime and I caught up with everything else. But now that I'm pretty much caught up with everything and then all the other shows are wrapping up, I'll give it more dedicated attention. So we'll discuss that. Maybe when we return, we can talk about your experience with the librarians.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
because it's super good.
It's a great show. It is a great show. Who's your favorite character so far?
The chick who has synesthesia.
Yeah, I like her too. She's cute too, and she's a redhead. Yay! My dogs will not shut up. So we're gonna end.
I just like that every time she's like, "Oh, that smelled like this."
Oh yeah, because she associates like colors with like smells.
Like
everything. Like her senses are crossed
linked to some kind of sense-based memory.
Yeah, like
usually breakfast.
Yeah, like she has like her wires across, like all her senses are like together. Like it's neat. They had something similar like to that in Heroes. There was the girl that couldn't hear sounds, but she saw sounds as colors. Like sound waves as colors.
Mm.
Remember that? That's kind of neat. Which reminds me, I kind of want to finish Heroes Reborn. I know no one really talked about it, but I was like 3 or 4 episodes out from the finale of that miniseries, and kind of curious what happened with that.
Yeah.
But it's a shame no one really talked about it, so it must not have been that good.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of expectations that it just kind of missed on living up to.
I don't know, it had some good fan service. I don't know if it was a casting issue or what, I don't know.
I mean, I think it's like what took it out the first time. It was more of a writing issue.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Brought back a lot of the original cast, too, so...
Yeah, who knows? Like...
No, they didn't have Hayden Panettiere, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's what killed it. No cheerleader. Can't save the cheerleader, can't save the world.
That's what it was. We figured it out in less than a minute. So, I think that's pretty much all the TV talk for now, the anime talk. I feel like there's something else I wanted to mention. Oh, the summer blockbusters are coming back, so we really talked about it before. So yeah, we're good. So talk about games. This is the Gameverse, and we'll wrap up on this. We're gonna talk about what we've been playing. First one is a recommendation from BFT9000. Duelist. Have you heard of this?
No.
Do you like tactics and strategy / card games? And I know I'm asking a silly question, but just entertain me.
Yes.
Well, this is all of those things.
I see.
It's comparable to Scrolls, which I'm a huge fan of, and I still would like to play with people. So, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I would say it's not as deep as Scrolls or Faeria. But it fills a nice void, because, like, I feel what they did, that they took that kind of formula with the kind of grid-based tactical game, you know, with a little bit of deck building, well, a good amount of deck building involved, but they made it a lot more simplified and fun. People saying they were saying it was more like Hero Academy meets Final Fantasy Tactics, but I see more of a similarity to Scrolls, which maybe it's because that's my frame of reference. But it definitely has a little bit of Final Fantasy flavor there too, Final Fantasy Tactics. So
where do you find this game at?
Duelist.com. It's free. It's PC and Mac only. It's web based. It's not web based. It's you download it through the web and it's a standalone client, which is kind of the sad part about it. I wish it had a Steam thing. Hopefully they'll work on that because they're missing out on a lot of people that would love this otherwise. And the only person I ever heard talking about it actually was BFT. So Duelist.com, but it's Duelist with a Y, not an I. Really cool. And it's got like a little pixel art style. I know some people will, turn their nose up on that, like more pixel art, more 8-bit pseudo retro graphics. Meh. But it's really cool. I like it a lot. Like, I didn't get to play much of it. I played through the tutorial, and it shows you like how you have minions you can summon. You have your hero and if he gets killed, that's it. It's over. So you gotta protect your minion, your general rather. You have your Bloodborne spell, which is like your general's ability. And you have artifacts which you can equip that have durability that goes down when you get attacked. It's pretty easy to pick up. You have spells and you have minions. So check it out.
Well, I'm downloading it now.
All right, so maybe we'll jam on it later. So I'm thinking there might be some Scrolls and Duelist streams coming up. Though I personally, sadly, have to really watch it with the streaming because like. I looked at my last Comcast bill. Good Lord. Comcast. Which, by the way, Comcast supposedly is going to be reassessing that. They've already gone to certain markets and increased the data usage cap to 1 terabyte, which some people are saying that's a lot. It's like, not a lot if you stream. Not really. Not if you stream.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, man, did you ever see the thing where Crimsix went off on Comcast?
Oh, yeah, I've seen a lot of those kind of videos, like streamers just going crazy, yeah. They're ridiculous.
Well, the thing is, Comcast almost cost him $25,000.
Oh, it's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, like he's a professional Call of Duty player, and Comcast was, like, controlling his internet and tried to cut his internet off at a point. And he was like, I've always paid my bill. I have the highest package I can possibly get from you guys, and you tried to cut me off in the final rounds of a $25,000 tournament. Are you out of your mind?
Oh yeah, they're insane. It's intrusive. They send you notices for everything, and it pops up and like blocks what you're doing. You have to acknowledge it. Still, you have to sign into your account to acknowledge the stupid thing. Like, it's really bad news. But now, like, they're like realizing, oh, maybe 300 gigabytes isn't enough, and now they're finally playing with the idea of offering an unlimited package. Like, really? That's all I ever wanted. Like, I'd rather pay a set amount every month and pay a lot, but at least know that I'm never gonna have any hidden fees. You can't budget for like something that fluctuates so much. Like, my bill right now is $400+. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Now, in fairness, usually I would be good with going off on this tangent, but one of the games I want to talk about is on this list.
Okay. So we already talked about Scrolls earlier. I know which game you want to talk about. I know. So July 1st, make sure you get
Do you know?
Do you want to talk about Overwatch?
No.
Did you play Overwatch?
Yes, lots, actually.
Did you love it?
Level 15 on all 3 platforms.
Who's your favorite character or favorite characters?
Okay, so I have a favorite character for each category. I actually have 2 for the supports. So when it came to the assaulty characters, I thought Reaper was super good. Really liked playing Reaper. And in snipers, I liked playing I always called him Mitsurugi. He's the samurai who looks like the character from... He's got the bow and arrow and looks like the character from Soul Calibur.
He does, yeah. You talk about Hanzo.
Yeah, but I just always call him Mitsurugi.
Yeah, he does look like him.
Roadhog was my favorite tank by far. Yeah. Because I like the whole, pudge hooks.
When we were playing together, that was the main guy you used.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. And as far as supports, I like Ludio, which was the dubstep gun guy,
Yeah.
and
I'm surprised he's not used more.
the Zen guy, like the floating guy who can weaken someone and then heal another person with his orb. He throws out all these, like, he was so good.
Zarya.
Yeah.
Which it seems like BFT likes the same people too. He says Zarya, Genji, Lucio, and Diva. I love Diva.
See, I wasn't a big Diva fan. Like, Diva had it depended. Like, the map always kind of changed my character. I like Diva for ones where you could run in, nuke the, like, dash nuke the mech so it slides into, like, a point they're trying to defend,
Yeah.
get the triple, and immediately hop back in the new mech you just earned.
Yeah, and, Diva's really good for pushing. She's a good offensive tank.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much potential for huge plays, and like the play of the game post each match, I thought was amazing.
Okay, Zarya, that's right. She's the Russian shield lady. She's the one.
Yeah,
that
she's
gives
got
you
the
shield
beam gun.
and give other people shield, and she got the little laser beam. Yeah, okay, that's right. And she could. I like that gun too because you could shoot it as like a explosion kind of.
She looked like Vi from League of Legends.
Zenyatta is the one that you were talking about, the meditating guy. Yeah, she does look like Vi. Yep, that's what I was thinking too. So yeah, I'm excited about the game, and I won't talk too much about it because you said there's another game you want to talk about. Maybe we'll circle back to this. Is the game you're thinking about DC Universe?
No.
And it's on the list. Rainbow Six Siege?
No.
Dark Souls 2?
No.
You said it's on this list.
Yes.
Hearthstone?
Yes.
Oh, you've got it back into this.
I have come back to Hearthstone like full blown with the Whispers of the Gods expansion.
Okay, so we're gonna have to definitely talk about that. All right,
so yeah, like builds and dude, I could talk for days.
All right, so let me just talk about Doom because I think this is a game that hasn't gotten enough love. I think last time we talked about Lifeline, it's a $1 game, cool if you want narrative, but it always ends up kind of the same way. So Doom, that's the game I want to talk about because no one's really talking about this game, but the few people that I know are playing it are actually really enjoying it, at least a single player.
Let's talk about Wood.
Wood?
Yeah. Did you not see that?
No, what?
Oh, there was a huge Reddit post where someone had gotten a copy early and they took the picture upside down so it looked like it spelled wood.
Oh, of course.
And he's like, welcome to the world of wood.
Yeah, I did notice that, but I didn't know that was a thing, yeah. Wood.
Now, one thing I found interesting, and I don't know if anyone's gonna, notice it, but on Xbox One, when I was doing some research about Doom, because I was actually pretty interested about it, someone already had a clip up almost 3 weeks before the game came out.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's...
And the clip was labeled, "Don't blame me, blame GameStop."
Yeah. Walmart's usually really bad about that, too, because they'll put stuff out on the shelf before the release date. Or someone will go in the back and say, hey, do you have any copies of this? And there'll be someone that had no idea what the product is. Like, yeah, let me go check the back.
Yeah.
Ignore. There's a clearly labeled on the box and on the games themselves, they have a sticker that says, do not release before blah, blah. But they just see it, oh, okay, and hand it to the customer.
Yeah.
I feel bad because that could get you fired. That will get you fired, hands down, because that could put the company into serious legal issue.
Mm-hmm.
But what can you do? I'm surprised that happened in GameStop. Like GameStop people, at least I'm not going to say they're real gamers, but at least they get better training about the products.
Yeah, I mean they only have one thing to focus on. It's not like they have to know, towels from here and canned raviolis and video games and toiletry fixtures and car parts. No, they just need to know video games.
Well, though now they're doing the consumer electronics and toys and collectibles too.
Okay, so now you need to know about video game and video game accessories. You have to be the Hank Hill of the video game world. I'll tell you what. But that's it. That's all they need.
I'm surprised GameStop hasn't gotten into like manga and anime. Because I bet you they would sell that like hotcakes. Because it's something that it's a little harder to find stateside.
I
At least
I don't
as
know.
at least as like end caps. Cause let's face it, like they're not really GameStop's not really relevant right now. There's not really any compelling reason to go to GameStop. It's a cramped up store no matter where you go. The employees there are usually rude. They don't really know their product, and because they're trained to do hard sell on you every time, you can't go to GameStop and just be in and out or just talk about what you want to talk about. You have to sit through a 20-minute speech about like, are you an Edge member? Well, you know, if you do this, blah 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 blah. This role blowing up everything into Gibbs and just fast-paced arcade action. Like, it's a great blend of classic Doom and what could be the future of the franchise. So I'm really excited about this. I still don't know if they should have just called it Doom and not just stuck with Doom 4. So like, it's clear that they want to see. I feel like they want to see how this does before they like really say, all right, this is a full-on reboot and we're gonna go into a new direction. But I like where they're heading with it, and I haven't really had a chance to play with Snap Map, the map editor. But if it's like detailed enough where you can make custom experiences, as they kind of hinted, where you can make like a role-playing map. Like I would like to make like a horror map where it's a survival thing. You could and they have cooperative in the custom maps. Can you imagine if you can make a map where it's like a Silent Hill survival experience, let's say, and it's just jump scares and you gotta like try to like manage your resources and be careful with, stuff like that. Like you used to see like traces of like Dead Space, that tension, the horror element, the set pieces, the environments, and then I'm getting a sense of like that Bulletstorm, visceral blowing up everything into Gibbs and just fast-paced arcade action. Like, it's a great blend of classic Doom and what could be the future of the franchise. So I'm really excited about this. I still don't know if they should have just called it Doom and not just stuck with Doom 4. So like, it's clear that they want to see. I feel like they want to see how this does before they like really say, all right, this is a full-on reboot and we're gonna go into a new direction. But I like where they're heading with it, and I haven't really had a chance to play with Snap Map, the map editor. But if it's like detailed enough where you can make custom experiences, as they kind of hinted, where you can make like a role-playing map. Like I would like to make like a horror map where it's a survival thing. You could and they have cooperative in the custom maps. Can you imagine if you can make a map where it's like a Silent Hill survival experience, let's say, and it's just jump scares and you gotta like try to like manage your resources and be careful with, stuff like that. Like you used to see like Warcraft 3 custom maps. That's the kind of potential I'm excited about. Like the single player, fantastic. I see nothing wrong with it. Like they kept the stage based, like they kept it really classic. It's all stage based, rather than having the open world like Doom 3 was. If people complain about Doom 3, I like Doom 3. Even though it was a corridor shooter, I liked it. Multiplayer is fun. And BFT saying the Snap Map looks very detailed from what he was looking at, and that's what my cursory look at it and seeing other people mess with it. It looks like there's a lot of potential there, and dude, I'm excited about it. I mean, it doesn't sound like this game is on your radar at all. But like, does it sound like something that might be pick up maybe in the future, possibly?
I'm gonna wait. Doom has kind of a history of what's the best way I can put it?
I really don't like the direction.
First week or first month success. So with Doom, it'll be huge. People are gonna love it. It got super streamed this weekend, and everybody loved it. Everyone's like, Doom, 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 would Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if I give it a month or two, I'll probably be able to go walk over and pick up a copy of Doom for about $20. And after I pick up that copy for $20, I'll be able to play on all the really cool maps people have created. Because the people who are hardcore in it will still be hardcore in it, making all these cool maps and awesome ideas. and I just pretty much avoid watching anything that has storyline because I want to experience it. Later on, I'll pick it up for $20, probably play it like crazy, play through the storyline, play through all these cool created maps. But I don't see it as being a game that I'm going to drop $60 on, knowing that the potential for Doom to be selling for 20 in a month or two is pretty high.
See, what I'm excited about is if they really support the modding community, and I can make, I don't know if they still call them WADs, but that's what it used to be called back in the day, the map packs, the map files. If I could just make custom maps on a PC and then import them to the global market and play them on any platform or at least Xbox One, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about it. Now, this is not a game that's story-driven. This is story-driven, but it's more for setting up the world. And I like it. It's just a visual experience. Like, I was actually sweating, and my heart was racing. I was really getting into it. And I already died a couple of times. So it's challenging even on, like, the mid-range difficulty. So I think there's a lot of quality there. And just speaking to the multiplayer itself, I think people weren't fair to it. I don't know what people wanted. It is classic Doom multiplayer, and it does it well.
I don't think Doom's ever really done well in a multiplayer space, though, and that's kind of the problem they've had. That's if they could get
says
past
who?
that.
But that's all we played back in Doom 1 and 2 was played like crazy. Maybe Doom 3 wasn't.
I mean, Doom 1 and 2 in multiplayer? Like, I knew everyone I knew back with Doom 1 and 2 were playing campaign and maybe speed running it against each other. But no one was like, man, I gotta get home, I gotta play, I've got this deathmatch in Doom, and it's like, what?
Dude,
what?
Doom was so big that they created services for people to be able to dial into LANs so they didn't have to do LAN parties. They had cafes doing LAN parties. Like,
see, I felt that at that time, Quake had a bigger multiplayer presence than Doom did. Quake Arena and stuff had that, like, between Quake and Unreal, I felt like Doom was always kind of on the back burner of the multiplayer scene.
Oh yeah, because Doom, Quake took what Doom did and made it more refined. But see, Doom still had the simplicity of working with the modding tools. There was a lot more variety because of that. So it wasn't really until like I would say Quake 2 is when really the modding got big and I really caught on. Like, but see, it depends what circle you in. Because for me, Doom was huge, and I loved Quake, but I didn't have the time to invest into like making custom maps and that. Like, Doom was a lot easier to come out with quality experiences. And really like either co-op the experience or just do a deathmatch setup. BFT says that DOS Doom will be $20 anytime soon because Wolfenstein: The New Order is still $60, which is crazy. Yeah, I don't think Doom is going to depreciate that hard. Maybe we'll see a little sale. I think maybe $40. I want it to succeed though. I want to see the series grow.
We'll see. Like I said, Doom's been kind of cursed. We'll see.
But see, you can't say that because without Doom, there would not have been Quake.
I mean, no, I get it. Trust me. I love the roots. Wolfenstein, Doom, I played them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I can go over to my local GameStop and after answering 42 questions and telling them, no, I don't want the expanded warranty, pick up a copy of Doom 3 for $5.
Yeah, BFT saying that multiplayer wasn't at the time of PC wasn't that common. See, I don't know. I must have been in a different world because it was like we all played it. I had tons of people to play it with. Like, it was one of the things that pushed multiplayer forward. But I guess it was still a really niche thing.
Yeah.
But I know you want to talk about Hearthstone, and we got to wrap it up soon. But don't sleep on this game. Doom is fantastic, and I'm super excited about it. So Hearthstone. Whispers of the Old Gods. They got this right.
This set's so good.
It's so good. I'm glad that they made it a free expansion.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the standard format?
I love the idea of the standard format. Because one of the reasons I quit playing Hearthstone for a good while was I didn't want to invest a ton of money. I didn't want to be like, oh, well, I'm not relevant if I don't have Naxxramas and if I don't have Explorers, that's $45 right there. Plus, I gotta have packs from G&G because piloted shredders and stuff were super meta for a good while, and all these mechs are super meta. And if I don't have $50 to $100 to put in, like coming back, I'm playing a lot of standard cards into decks that have like 6 legendaries, and I'm like, man, like you cannot possibly get ahead playing into 6 legendaries without some kind of newer card decks, and you can't win gold to get new card packs if you can't win. You don't get anything for losses. You can't complete quests without winning unless they're the quests that are like summon this many creatures who cost 5 or more, or summon this, that. Like it was always really hard for me to get back into it because I was like, man, like I can go into a match with a bunch of low cost taunts and then just 5s or higher and try to just drop as many as I can before I take a loss. Or I can, no, that's pretty much it. I couldn't get back into it. Now with standard, all the classic cards are still good because they'll always be the basis for it. But now only the last 2 sets really matter, which is pretty huge. You've got the Grand Tournament and Whispers of the Old Gods, and then they started out by going here, have Cthulhu, which is easily the biggest legendary in the new set. Everyone gets one.
Yeah, and it's funny because like they shifted the meta so like to keep it fresh because it was getting a little stale. Everybody was kind of running mech decks and Death Rattle. Death Rattle's still relevant. They have a lot of things that have Death Rattle mechanics. I had to retool a lot of my decks, so it was kind of funny, but I didn't mind it, because I want to be standard ready. I feel like they nerfed Hunter going into this really hard, and a lot of things they did was really unwarranted. But I think they also kind of making it so that everybody's relevant again as far as the classes go. But it's funny, they try to refresh the meta, but now ultimately everybody's running Cthulhu because, like, why wouldn't you? It's such high utility, like the board presence and the board clear potential is huge.
I mean, yeah, there's still other options outside of Cthulhu, but like Cthulhu is easily the one that people can build and start getting those wins to get more gold, more gold. Plus, with all the free packs of Whispers that you can win off of the quests, I mean, that's 13 free packs?
Yeah, they were really generous with that.
So there's
the palette.
13 free packs, and all of those usually have stuff that are like buff Cthulhu wherever he is.
Yep.
So it's not hard for people to make, budgety Cthulhu decks and then grind out gold to make better Cthulhu decks, and it encourages you to grind and build your standard collection more.
I feel like
it's pretty nice.
I feel like the Priest has the best time with Cthulhu right now because you can easily spam heals and have that card that cycles the effect anytime you heal a character +2 to Cthulhu wherever he is.
+1.
Is it +1? But still, like
it's Hooded Acolyte gives +1/+1 every time any minion is healed.
Oh, it is the minion, not character, but still, you could do that so easily. Circle of healing.
It's huge. Yeah. But think about Rogue.
Rogue is strong too.
If you've got Blade of Cthulhu, Rogue, it's ridiculous because the opponent goes, well, I'm playing Cthulhu too. They play Cthulhu. You play Blade of Cthulhu. Kill their Cthulhu. And all that attack and health goes to your Cthulhu. Plus, he's like a 4/6 that you also now have on the board. So, Tempo Rogue and Control Cthulhu Priest are super strong. I've built budget versions of kind of both of those right now, which have sustained my grinding to actually get back into the game, which I'm pretty hype about.
Yeah, I think Rogue has definitely come up, and Priest. The only thing you gotta be careful with Rogue is like you can easily run it to a scenario where you're card starved, and that's a really crappy situation to be in.
Well, see, have you seen like Thistle Tea?
Yeah. The card that gives you draw 3. What is it?
You draw 1 rogue ability and get 2. Yeah, get 2 copies on top of the original.
Is it 2 or 3? Oh yeah.
You get 3 cards. You get the
total.
original and 2 copies.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's pretty cool because then, like, you play that on turn 6, and usually what I do with it is I'll play it on turn 6, and then turn 7, it's like, oh, well, considering I just got 3 sprints out of it, 4 cards, you can sprint 4 cards, and then if you do that the next 2 rounds, you go, okay, 4 cards. Okay, I found my Cthulhu, play it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's options and there's lots of control that helps you keep the board control in, like saps or assassinates or backstabs or... So, I mean, it's interesting. It's got a lot. Hunters have kind of taken a hit. Zulok is still huge, though. Like, if you don't like playing Cthulhu, Zulok is still entirely viable.
Yeah, Zulok is never gonna go away. I don't feel it's a way because it's with Warlock you have the easy card draw and you just keep putting low cost minions out. You force your opponent to make a tough choice. Clear the board or just go face. And if they can't go face, they're kind of in trouble. And I feel like with Warrior and Rogue that usually you want to prioritize face and just ignore the board as much because I have a problem. I try to focus the board too much. And sometimes you have to make a tough choice. Like, let me take that damage, let me let the board get a little crazy and just focus face.
Yeah, I mean it just really depends like how you play. Like Hunters have their moments right now, and there's some good stuff still about them. Like Face Hunter's slightly weaker, but some of the beast buffs are pretty strong. And it's not just what they put in, which is what I really like. It's not just what they put in that matters in Standard, but also what they take out.
Yeah, because it's the last 2 years of expansions plus the classic cards you can put in a deck to make it Standard compliant. Otherwise, you got to play Wild format, which is what we've been doing to date. And basically that means right now there's no Goblins and Gnomes and no Curse of Naxxramas.
Right.
I kind of miss Curse of Naxxramas, but it's nice to be forced to just try new things. So.
Also, here soon, Explorers will be going out.
The new League of Explorers?
Yeah.
Because they already had one series come out.
Because I kind of can't wait for League of Explorers to go out. Because, like I said, I don't.
Oh, you're right. Because League of Explorers is old already. Well, no.
Yeah.
Is it that old?
Yeah. It's got a little. I think it's later this year. It goes out.
Wait a minute. League of Explorers still feels pretty fresh.
But
Grand Tournament would go out before League of Explorers. Grand Tournament came out before League of Explorers. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay, so then we have Grand and then League. Either way, I can't wait for League to go out because I didn't spend the $20 on League of Explorers, which is bad when you're trying to play because of how in the meta Entomb is. Like, have you seen Entomb?
Yeah, the one where it puts your minion from the field into their deck. Mm-hmm. That's rough. That one's rough.
Like, I thought about building a deck around it, but I can't get Entomb cards without spending $20 to start doing the League of Explorers stuff.
I haven't gotten an Entomb yet either, so...
But that's because it's only out of League of Explorers.
Well, I have League of Explorers, but you have to
do
get
you?
it from a card pack. It's not one of the free ones you get from doing the content.
Oh shoot. Well, yeah, but if you get Entomb, it's not. It's so strong and so, like I said, so deep in the meta that it's huge. Because someone goes Cthulhu and you go Entomb. Now, I didn't build a Cthulhu deck, but there's arguably some characters that you can use from it that are still viable, like Disciple of Cthulhu, who deals 2 damage when he comes out and is a 2/1.
Yep.
And gives +2/+2 to your Cthulhu wherever it is. If you entomb someone's Cthulhu, and I have been playing Disciples, that's pretty strong.
Oh yeah, I mean I get mad when people entomb my Ysera, which is one of the few legendaries I use I use it on almost every deck because Ysera is awesome.
Yeah, I mean there's so many options, but at least they've made it able to be kind of re-entered into, which to me was huge. Like the fact that I can now go back and get into Hearthstone again without thinking, man, I could get into it, but I'm going to have to spend, $50-$60, and that's a whole nother game on its own,
Well, Obi's in the chat. He's getting antsy. But we're about to wrap up the show, but I think we can talk more about Hearthstone. I think the main thing, though, is that the way that this change is going to keep the game fresh on an ongoing basis rather than waiting for a new expansion to revitalize the interest. So I think now, Hearthstone's going to stay in people's minds because this is going to keep people on their toes. But you know what? I find myself playing a lot more Arena now. I've always played a lot of Arena, but I took a little break from it for a while. Now I'm playing a lot more Arena, and I feel like I'm doing better. Like I'm getting 5 or 6 wins on average per Arena run, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And Obi wants to know if you're having a top star day.
I'm quite top star. Quite. Indubitably.
Now Obi says he's drinking already. Man, it's kind of early. He beat me. He was having coffee. So anyway, folks, I would love to go deeper on Doom and Hearthstone and give those games more love, and even Scrolls. But I think we have some homework now, some games and some shows we can catch up on. Oolong Marathi, you're going to be playing some Duelists and maybe some Scrolls?
Probably some Duelists, maybe Scrolls. With Scrolls about to be not a thing anymore, I'm not sure if I want, because then if I get really into it, when it goes away, I'll be super sad.
Yeah, and it's a really good game.
Probably
really
like Duelists and Hearthstone, and of course COD. Those will probably be like my three main stay games for the time.
All right, sounds good. And don't forget, folks, you can find us on Geeky Antics everywhere. Just Google us. We're on Facebook. We have geekyantics.net. It's pretty easy to find us. Where can you be found, Oolong?
On Twitter, at Fatal Blades, spelled FATLBLADES. Let's see. Twitch.tv/FATL_Blades. On Hearthstone, Fatal Blades, and I don't remember the numbers, so maybe I'll give that to you guys next week. And of course on tons of different consoles under various names, so that's not very helpful. Well, here soon I'll be organizing everything together under one name for everyone to get a hold of me, I promise.
Like I said, we have our community outlets, so you can usually find us hanging out there. I'm YogiZilla everywhere. Twitter, Tumblr, Steam, Xbox Live, etc., etc. On Battle.net, Blizzard's ecosystem, I'm YogiZilla pound 1722 if you want to add me there. Possibly play some Overwatch, definitely play Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, etc. And by the way, after this, we're part of a new block now. We've been doing pretty religiously, pretty steadily, pretty consistently. Like right after the show or around 3 p.m. Eastern, NSFW or NSF Wrestling podcast right here on Geeky Antics channel. Make sure you tune in for that. Obi's really tell him what the name's gonna be. He's like, Hey, he's not ready yet. He'll make the big reveal soon, OB. But anyway, that's all for today. We'll stay tuned. If you're here live, make sure you stay tuned, and we're gonna have another show right after this. So hang tight. Time for the outro, and see you here on TWTT in 2 weeks. Later.
Take it easy.
We thank you. We thank you for every crumb, biscuit and cake you bring to the table. Because Doctor Who belongs to all of us. What you bring to the timey-wimey tea time in your live chat participation, comments, likes, shares, tweets and voicemail, all of it means the world to us. Love, true love never fails. Do you like it? If you like what we're doing, well, tell us for God's sake. Shout it from the rooftops at geekyantics.net or call it in 206 415 4987. That's 206 415 4987. That's it. Bless you. So long. And thanks for all the fish. Hold on, it won't be that long, just a wee while, because the timey-wimey tea time will be back. We'll return next Saturday with fresh insights, questions and epiphanies about Doctor Who. And heck yes, everything geek. Maybe same bat time, absolutely the same bat channel. Every Saturday.
Tiny Wimey Tea Time. Me gusta.